everybody, it's me, Zach, and welcome back to my channel.
Who is that they, them on my screen?
Welcome in, welcome in. Hi everybody, welcome to me. Welcome to me. Sorry that I was gone. Well, I mean, I wasn't really gone, but I didn't post like Thursday and Friday, and I know I've gotten into a little bit of a habit of posting Monday through Friday once a day. And I love when I can keep up that grind. And also, like, just coming back from my trip to Seattle and things like that, I was just feeling like a little need to make up some rest from my rest, if that makes sense. I don't know. Sometimes you go on vacation and sometimes it's just like, oh my gosh, I gotta ease back into things. I also had some friends come into town that I wasn't expecting to come into town, and so I spent like all of last Thursday hanging out with them. I went to the Art Institute of Chicago, which, as a Chicagoan who's lived here now 11 years, I don't know how I'd never been before, but now I can't wait to go back. I was just obsessed. It was great. It was wonderful. That's not what you're here to hear about today. but I did end up doing that and like going to dinner with them and things. So Thursday I was really busy. And then to be honest, on Friday I was just real excited about getting to go see one of my favorite country pop girly divas extraordinaires, Casey Musgraves. Casey Musgraves. And while I was there, I was waiting in line for merch, and Claire came up and said hello to me. So hi, Claire. Thank you so much for coming and saying hi. And when I sat down in my seat, Anna was behind the barrier and said, "Hey, are you Zachary Michael?" And so I went and said hello to Anna, and both Claire and Anna, lovely people, lovely folks. Thanks so much for saying hi to me. Thanks so much for watching, and thanks so much to y'all for watching as well. I know sometimes it might feel like a lot that I talk about going to concerts and going on vacations and stuff like that. And in many ways, I am doing a lot of this in my life now because it was not something I was able to do for a good chunk of my life, and I'm very grateful that I get the opportunity to do that. And it's people like Claire and Anna and all of you watching right now who have afforded me this life of being able to go and do things that really bring me joy and bring me happiness. So thank you so much for watching, everybody, and especially to Claire and Anna who came and said hi to me while I was at the Casey Musgrave show. It was phenomenal, by the way. I just really love Casey. She really like reignited an interest in country music that I had when I was younger in the 90s. My mom listened to a lot of country music, I think still does, but I kind of dropped off once I stopped having to ride everywhere in cars with her. But I just really, like, Casey has really brought me back into country music in a way that I don't know if any other artists are able to do. And she was great, and she's wonderful. It was her birthday. It was the start of her Middle of Nowhere tour, and I'm so glad I got to experience it. So anyways, what I'm also really here to say is that Rosie streamed 2 different times this past weekend, and we're gonna watch some clips from the first one today. It was from August 21st, so only 3 days ago. And this particular live stream was also in regards to, well, it was titled "This Live's for Beanie," parentheses, trying a new public to members feature, end parentheses. And I'm not going to talk about it too much because I think pet death can be a lot for a lot of people. Jane, who edited these clips for me, mentioned that she tried not to include too much stuff about this. But the beanie in the title is a reference to, I think, somebody's dog from her audience, from her community, who passed away. And so she did this live stream, I guess, in honor of that dog. But I actually, honestly, have stayed pretty much off of Twitter and haven't read a ton of stuff about anything going on with Rosie from my Discord or anything like that. So I'm going into this without a ton of information. And I will say the clips are like 45 minutes long on this one. The second live stream, which I'll also get to eventually, is a live stream I think she did with Remy of them talking together. So I'll get to that later as well. Also don't know a ton of what happened in that. But I am gonna shut the fuck up because I've already been talking for 5 minutes, and we're gonna get to, shall we? All right, she's in her bedroom in tummy time position. Let's go.
Hi guys.
Can everyone hear me okay?
Yeah, he's on my phone. So let's wait for some people to come in.
Perfect.
All right, just let me get situated. It's been quite a time, guys. It has been quite a fucking time.
I just literally choked on my own spit from doing all of that, and it's still there. Also, I think I mentioned, but I had to give up on the Aldi strawberry sparkling water because I swear they changed the formula. But no worries, we do have white grape on deck.
Like, while I try to figure anything out in terms of trying to get him on screen for this, I'm too exhausted and just... I know my hair looks like shit. I actually just showered, but I did not have the gumption to deal with my hair, so...
Now, Diva, with all due respect, Diva, your hair looks the same as it always does, bestie. It really does.
Apologies for that. But so there's so much to talk about and catch up on. Let me fix this.
Okay, fix it.
My leg is still attached to my hip, so that's, a bonus.
Oh, yeah, because she twerked her knee. She twerked her knee.
Sorry. I'm just saying, I gotta think of the positives. You know what I mean?
Sure.
It could be so much worse. It really, truly, it could be so much worse. And I am gonna be, kind of a floating head because the cleavage in this dress is kind of crazy, and I try to do all that. Man.
Now, again, with all due respect, when have you ever been concerned with all the cleavage in most of your outfits? Just being so honest and real about this. No shade. Have as much or little cleavage as you want, honestly, at this point, I guess, because that's just what we're doing. But I'm very curious why in this live stream you care for some reason. Also, floating head isn't what I would use to describe this. I would say head sitting on top of your body. Again, no shade, but your head doesn't look like it's floating. Not to be all semantical about it.
So last time I was live, what day did I fall, darling? What day did that happen? That live?
It was a few days ago. That was Tuesday.
Something like that. No, it had to be Monday. I mean, it must have been Monday. No, I did not get it looked at because I just need to let it rest. So basically...
Oh, you don't, it's so bad, but you don't need to get anybody to look at it. You just know that all you need is a little bit of rest. Alright, Diva. I'm gonna start calling you Dr. Lynn Medicine Woman. You know best. She's honestly probably worse than Dr. Lynn Medicine Woman, because Rosie really does have a history of thinking she knows more than the doctors that are treating her medically.
Where I'm at right now, so when I fell, the main thing that fully injured me is that area under my pinky toe on my foot. It hurts pretty good. It'll be fine. It's nothing crazy. It just needs time.
It's your pinky toe that's hurting, not your knee that you twerked. It's not the twerked knee, it's the pinky toe now all of a sudden that is keeping you stuck in bed. I'm just trying to follow the story here.
So, if you haven't seen it while I'm talking, go check my community tab post from this morning. We'll talk about that in a second.
Oh yeah, this is the dog
as
thing.
I was falling, I kind of my knee turned. I was turning myself as I fell. So I think they probably just pulled the muscle on the inside of on my knee, on the inside of where my knee is kind of it's worked knee basically. That's been the hard part.
So it is I guess she could be saying it's all of the above. It's the pinky toe, it's the dangling pinky toe and the twerked knee. Sure. Okay. And she just knows. It's probably just a pulled muscle. She needs to just let it rest, of course. She don't need to have nobody go check it out. No, not at all.
Basically, I've been exclusively walking with a cane since the end of the live. So, I was I must have been running on adrenaline or something, walking around, hopping around afterwards, because the next day was hell. It was bad. And it's been a rough go. It is getting progressively better every day. I'm gonna be fine. It's just been a huge hindrance. It could definitely be so much, like, the fact that I didn't land in the hospital how I fell is, like...
Well, you didn't land in the hospital because you won't even go have someone check it out. You didn't land in the hospital because when somebody said, oh, did you have somebody go look at you, said, no, I just need to rest.
Like, fucking, like, it is a miracle. I should be grateful. No, we're not doing jack shit. We're here to just chat. I wanted to chat with you guys for a little bit and then switch over to members only. So if you haven't seen a community tab post, it's like the saddest and sweetest thing ever for me. Like, I have a friend who I've known for a long, long time, and they have 3 English bulldogs. So they had. Beanie was one of them, and Beanie recently passed away. Beanie had an enlarged heart, and it was just the cutest. There's a picture of her on my community tab post because my friend was sharing with me, like, she didn't share me pictures. Like, Beanie used to watch my streams for, like, hours on end. Like, my friend even told me about how, like, they would leave the stream on and come back hours later, and Beanie was still just sitting there, like, watching my streams. And
you know what's so wild about that? I found out about Rosie, and you can fact check this. I said this, I think, in the initial video that I like the first video I made about her being parasocial. I used to leave her streams on, or I occasionally left her streams on when I would leave because I knew at the time she was streaming for like 3 to 4 hours. So if I knew I was gonna be gone for like an hour or something, I would leave the streams on so that there was noise for Poe. I've actually more recently heard that, like, dogs don't really give a shit about that. The only thing that, like, in like research studies that dogs have been moved by is actually, like, classical music. So me leaving Rosie on didn't do shit for Poe, potentially. But anyways, besides the point, it's also really just for my peace of mind, if anything, that, like, he's not sitting here in silence. But I digress. I used to leave them on, and the reason I found out that she was talking shit about me in a few of them was because I turned them on for Poe to listen to before I would go, like, out and about and live my life outside of the internet.
And, like, tell me how, like, Beanie passed over the Rainbow Bridge with them and Beanie's 2 sisters while watching my streams, and, like, oh my god. Oh, I cried. It was like, I just was like, well, this live goes out to Beanie, the cutest quirky crew member there ever was. Like, that's really, I was like, the next time I go live, I have to. Oh my god.
I have to.
We're not raising any money, it's just in memory of Beanie. Yeah, no, we're just like in memory.
Right,
like,
right. It's just in memory for Beanie, a dog that otherwise nobody really knew from your community.
God, there was like it warmed my heart, and it's also obviously so sad. But if you want to know the whole thing, definitely read that community tab post and
also
pictures of Beanie.
Also, that's not to make light of like the dog passing away. I do just think it strikes me as, like, a little bit strange that she would have a memorial stream for this dog, and this is, like, as somebody who keeps up with Rosie's content, this is the first time ever hearing about this dog, you know? And I think that just strikes me as, like, a little bit weird, you know? It's not a weird thing for her to feel sad that, like, one of her viewers, well, she said friend, so also I don't know about that, but it's not weird for her to be sad about that happening. I think it's weird for her to make a whole stream about it and or potentially use it for sad fishing, you know? I mean, I guess she at least clarified, like, no, girls, we're not raising any money for this. We're just doing this in honor of the dog.
Lady. Yeah. This week has been...
It's been a lot.
Hell. Because it was right before the fall. I had a 3-day... Well, the pain flare was longer than 3 days.
Yeah.
The pain flare was longer than 3 days. 3 days before I fell was, like, the apex. Like, I think it was roughly 3 days. Like, whenever I did that live and I was, like, pretty, like stoned and acting kind of weird, it was because I was in extreme pain. and the 2 days after were hard, and I was just coming out of it, then I fucking fell. And all I can say is I'm grateful I didn't fall during a pain flare, you know, because I don't know what I would do with myself. I don't know if anyone that I watch is from Gary, Indiana, but, like, my heart goes out to anyone being affected by the, like, horrific blackout situation. Gary, Indiana is a majorly, what's the phrase they use?
Majorly, what's the phrase they use? If you don't know, Gary, Indiana, it's in the northwest region of Indiana, and it's predominantly a black community. And it's been, well, actually, I haven't read any updates today about it, but they had been, at the time of this, for sure, without power for, like, I think close to 2 weeks, probably, at the time that she was doing this live stream. And it was from, like, ridiculously bad, like, windstorms and things like that, like, knocked out a lot of power lines and stuff, and, like, nothing was being done, like, by the established, like, government systems to, like, make that better for them. And I'm paraphrasing a lot of that. Certainly go read more about it. I wasn't prepared to necessarily talk about that in today's video. But certainly as somebody, if you don't know, the northwest region of Indiana is very close to Chicago. A lot of people who live in the northwest region of Indiana, like, commute to Chicago to work. So that's why I'm a little bit knowledgeable about the things that are going on with it. Certainly something to pay attention to, and I feel like what I've seen as maybe the best ways that people can help is to individually look for, like, GoFundMes of families in Gary who are being negatively impacted by it.
It's not black owned. It's it's basically just like
it's not black owned. Well, it's a city, right.
Really black community, and there was some situation, I think, with a tornado or something, and
there's also been an issue with just, like, heavy
AI
winds.
Data centers cutting off power. I don't know if this is related to Gary, Indiana, or a different part of Indiana, like cutting off power to other parts of the state or the city to keep power going to them, sacrificing it from other people. And there's I'm just gonna give her the benefit of the doubt, like I just gave myself, which is that, like, I'm paraphrasing because I wasn't prepared to talk about this today, and I'm gonna hope that that's what's going on here. That, like, somebody brought it up in her chat and she just wasn't prepared to talk about it. Like, people are just now 10 days later starting to get some power back, and it's been, like, a horrible situation, and things didn't start improving until, like, creators on TikTok started bringing awareness to it. So it's just like, yeah, fuck data centers for real, gamer girl. Data centers are fucking evil, and I would definitely recommend looking into it for exacts. I'm just
fuck data centers for real, unless they generate art for my boyfriend's fuck ass glow in the dark space bedroom, or if they generate art for my fuck ass temporary tattoos that I got off of Amazon. Sure.
A bitch on the internet who reads things sometimes and watches things sometimes. I am not your news source. But what I will say is, like, it's actually, like, dystopian what's going on in Indiana. And there's different creators who are talking about it on TikTok, and there are people trying to, like, raise money. It's been horrific. Like, I've been reading some of the first-hand accounts of people who can't even get gas in their car, can barely do fucking any of that. If anybody has sent me anything that has been listed as delivered before Wednesday to my P.O. box, if you received a, like, delivered notice from Amazon, especially if there's a picture of it being, like, left in a lobby or something, contact me, because I had a situation where someone sent me something and the Amazon driver didn't do their job right, and the package got stolen, so
no,
it fixed and all of that. I also realized I can go into my settings in Amazon, so I fixed it to where you could put, like, delivery business hours essentially, and, like, I put instructions and stuff, so it shouldn't happen again, unless the driver is just truly incompetent. But, you know,
I love, well, first of all, I always love when she redirects the conversation to be about, about her Amazon wish list. Yes, diva, work. But second of all, I love how she starts off saying, you know, this Amazon delivery driver is just incompetent. Follows it up by saying, well, I went into my settings and I fixed some things in terms of like instructions on how to make the delivery to explain that, you know, like they need to go during business hours when they can actually deliver it to my P.O. box. I'm adding a little bit of context, but I assume that's what she's saying is like, oh, I put like, please deliver between these business hours, because it's a P.O. box and there needs to be somebody there to accept the package. And then she follows it up with, but unless this Amazon delivery driver is just so incompetent. Well, the original problem sounds like it's you. The original problem sounds like you didn't give enough instructions. But sure, let's blame the Amazon delivery driver who's already probably working under heinous conditions, because there's been many reports of Amazon taking advantage of their employees in that manner. But yeah, let's blame it on them and not you, the person just chilling at home, not giving proper instructions for delivery.
But to the person who got me the big gift, it's sitting on my couch. I'm not opening it until I can give it the moment it deserves.
Sure.
I know what's in it. It's pretty dope. Levi and I are both excited. Thank you so much. But I'm gonna wait to open it until I'm a little more able to. I need to do some stuff.
And what are we waiting for? You can't open that while you're just sitting here? You can't open that while you're just sitting in one spot? I don't understand.
The kitchen. Even I'm probably gonna be doing lives before I'm fully healed, like back to normal, but the truth is, I'm going to need to rely a little from a little bit of help from Levi that I normally wouldn't ask for.
Uh-huh.
So I just want to do that around, like, his schedule and bandwidth. I don't want to, like...
You're going to need him to help you open a package that you seemingly could do... Well, like, that's how you open all your packages, is while you're just sitting. I'm so confused. Unless this is just, like, a monstrously big package that she's worried about having to be able to stand up in order to open it, I don't understand what the issue is.
Not much. The way your face lights up when he speaks. Yeah. Guys, right before this live, he was taking photos of me, just, like, existing. Like, I was, like, setting up the laptop, and, like, he was just taking...
Taking photos?
Because you're cute.
He was taking photos or screenshots? What do you mean? Y'all are not physically in the same room.
Stop, babe. Stop. Yeah, this week's been bullshit. I had one can of Willie's left, and I was going to save it for an emergency. And then last night, I was like, you know what? Fuck it. So
I kind of thought that she had other accesses to like THC, marijuana, etc. to support her pain flares and stuff like that. Which like I support if that's what she needs. Like there's lots of people who utilize THC in that way. I mean, I don't think it's a reasonable replacement for like medical attention and things like that. And there's certainly, you know, some questions that could maybe be asked in that kind of way. You know, perhaps she should be doing some of that under the discretion of a medical doctor and probably help. But I'm also just so confused that like she seems to really be relying on the THC that she's gotten sent by Teakwood, which again brings me back to a point I made in a separate video, that she says that like she comes on and she talks about, you know, like how she doesn't intentionally share about her pain and stuff like that in hopes of getting stuff sent to her or money or sympathy or things like that. But, like, even this moment, she might not be intending on it, but, like, she is putting out a message, intentional or not, like, hey, I'm out of Willie's, and I don't know. I just don't know how I'm gonna make it. Anyways, KRose82 says, when did you get your fibro diagnosis? She didn't. A family member of mine just got hers and she's been struggling. Any advice? Well, she doesn't have a diagnosis for that. If you don't know her lore with fibromyalgia, at one point when she was still actively going to doctors, she was working on trying to get that diagnosis. But my understanding from her, at least, how she explained it, is that she had to. It's a condition where you have to rule everything else out before you can get diagnosed with it, and that's oftentimes what she talks about when she says that, like, she doesn't have access to getting the diagnosis because she doesn't have access to healthcare. I'm not sure she would really care one way or the other if she got it or not. It seems similar to, like, her self-determined autism diagnosis, that this is just something she's going to run with, her having now. But just so you all have the full context in case you didn't know.
I was going to respond to that and just say that I'm not discussing my diagnoses and all of that stuff like that. I'm not getting into all those details anymore. Like, I will talk about my PTSD. I'll talk about stuff that, like, I've already kind of discussed at length, but I'm not getting into all that stuff. I'm really, 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 really done with real world weaponizing my health issues as, like, content. I'm done. So, when it comes to my weight, when it comes to anything that is, like, controversial, I'm not going in depth like that. You're good, K-Rose. And also, like, just general mods, like...
I'm just so confused on and listen, she says girl world largely broadly, right? Like, who knows who or what she's talking about in that situation. But it is one of those things where it's like, I think it's fair. She can sit here and say, I'm not going to talk about my diagnosis, this, that, the other. Well, she has previously talked about her diagnoses, so there's that. First of all, she has discussed, seeking out a fibromyalgia diagnosis before, and I think it's even just been in recent history. Where I would have to go double check this, but I think there was a recent live stream, like within the past month even, where she talked about having an aha moment from watching a TikTok. And let me know if I'm just, like, making this up in my head. But she talked about having some kind of, like, aha moment because of a TikTok creator who had fibromyalgia talking about the type of, like, nerve pain and stuff that they experienced, and she's like, that's me, that's describing me. Am I making that up? I don't know. Regardless, I think it's fair to have questions about her health and her diagnoses and things like that, because that's what her content's about. That's what she puts out there. She has talked about these things, and even if she isn't currently discussing, specific diagnoses, outside of talking about her boyfriend, then the number one subject that comes up the most on her channel, well, maybe outside of her boyfriend and outside of cooking, like, huge amounts of food, the number one topic is her pain flares and the pain she experiences. So I don't know how people are weaponizing that. I'm curious about that, but I think it's fine to have questions.
Don't be so quick to ban members, please. That's not how we fly. If, like, it's really fucked up, obviously, like, if it's a clear, obvious troll, obviously that's different. But I'm done. Like, you guys may see things in the upcoming months and have questions, and I'm not answering them. I'm being so real. Like, yeah, I'm done. I'm not letting them infiltrate.
I just spent the first however many minutes of this stream talking about the pain I'm feeling in my knee and my pinky toe. But listen, I don't have to answer to no one. Which, fair, she doesn't have to answer to anyone. It's just so interesting to me when she, tries to be like, I'm not talking about this, as if she didn't just spend a good chunk of this time talking about her pain.
Of the things that I have planned for myself. And it sucks that I can't be open because of that.
And also, at this point, are we not talking about your health because of Girl World, or are we not talking about your health? Because initially she's like, I'm not going to talk about my health because I don't want to take any chances losing my channel again. But now it's like Girl World's fault. I don't know. Just more things to think about and consider.
So the thing that I will say about this is, like, I don't feel like I'm going through withdrawals. Like, because I actually went multiple days before last night. Like multiple days. Actually, I think the last time had been when I went
withdrawals from Willies? From THC?
live, or like the day after. But I go like lengths of time without it, and it doesn't like cause me to feel sick or any of that stuff. The problem is, after a certain amount of time, my chronic pain becomes more prevalent, because even when I'm not actively stoned, the like pretty consistent medicinal use of THC helps my pain and like a lot of my symptoms regarding my PTSD, which I've talked about a lot at length in the past, right? And I occasionally will absolutely be like, you know what, we're going to add a couple extra milligrams of THC just for funsies. But, like, in terms of recreational use, but...
Obsessed. She's like, I don't need this, but it does help. Like, I'm not, addicted to this. I'm not going through withdrawals. But I really need this to help with the pain, which fair. That she's earlier talking about, like, oh, I just had my last can of Willies. Oh, no, what am I going to do? And then she admits, like, oh, but I do have a little bit for recreational fun use. Maybe if we desperately need the THC to deal with our pain that we're experiencing, our chronic pain we're experiencing, then maybe we should keep it strictly to medicinal use then. I don't know. She's just so fascinating. It's really just so interesting how her brain works versus how, like, my brain would work in that situation. Of, like, if I knew I had limited resources and I was telling my audience that, like, I primarily use this for medicinal use to help with my, like, chronic pain and stuff like that, why would I also admit to my audience that, like, I occasionally add a few extra milligrams for, like, just a little recreational use? Girl, probably need to be a little bit more serious about this.
For the most part, I have, like, a certain limit that I stick with. Barry no longer has that YouTube account. Barry may or may not be here. That's what I'm gonna leave it at.
What happened to Barry Parm? What did I miss in that story? What did I miss? I definitely missed something. This is where the haters will say I don't do my own research. And I don't. I just react to stuff in real time.
Girl World is out for blood. They're disturbing and dangerous.
Oh,
They are.
Did Girl World do something to Barry Parm?
The shit that's been going on behind the scenes with that has been crazy. Because the one thing I know for sure, Barry is a dope fucking friend. And Barry is one of the best people I've ever met.
Well, have you actually met Barry Parm in real life? Or is this just like another boyfriend situation type of deal?
Barry has been such a ride or die for me, and has been such... I feel like Barry has been one of the first people to really try to protect me.
I think she's delusional about that. I do have to say, Barry's been trying to protect Rosie in the same way that Rosie tries to protect herself, which is not at all. It's I shouldn't say not at all, but what I am saying is that Barry is purposely sharing things with Rosie that I think, like, do harm Rosie's mental health. It's seemingly, like, from what I can tell, like, puts Rosie in a piss-poor mood, makes her real stressed, real anxious, etc. So, one, I don't think that Barry's helping in that kind of way. The other thing that I know Barry is doing is Barry's picking fights with the quirky, creepy crew. And that's just, like, a fact. Like, putting, and when I say quirky, creepy crew, that's not necessarily me attributing that name to those people, but just the people that Rosie refers to. That is not a judgment on those people necessarily, outside of Cam. It absolutely is a judgment on him. But Barry Parm is out here picking fights with with these people, like getting them riled up. So it's just like, no girl, Barry Parm is not helping you keep your peace. Barry Parm is not doing that. And listen, Barry Parm can do whatever the fuck she wants, and you can allow Barry Parm to do whatever the fuck she wants. That's certainly, both of y'all's choices. But to say that Barry Parm is protecting you, I don't know. I don't know if I agree with that.
Ways that she has for me, from the hate and everything, the fact that these people are so desperate break apart our friendship, because I don't know whether it's they're threatened by the lack of access they get to me because of the moderating that she's done, or
the lack of access they get to you? What do you mean? What do you mean the lack of access they get to you? Everybody can still watch your shit. I don't understand.
It's just they're angry at the lack of control they feel because they don't know her identity and they can't dox and threaten her like they do everyone else. I don't know, man, but
I also just want to be clear, because she started this conversation off saying girl world, and again, I don't know who all she means by that, but what is so confusing for me is Rosie really goes back and forth on girl world, the quirky creepy crew, girl world, quirky creepy crew, sometimes clarifying that, it's not all of girl world, it's this quirky creepy crew that's taking advantage of girl world. I just, who are we talking about here? This is really why she should be using names. She says she doesn't want to use names because she doesn't want to give these people clout. But what it is just confusing, because it incorrectly attributes some behaviors and actions to people who aren't involved in all of this.
I think this whole Barry witch hunt thing needs to die. So Barry is not around as Barry anymore. Y'all won't know who she is, if she's here, where she's here. I won't be discussing her anymore, because what girl needs to learn is if they want their fucking entertainment to stay entertaining, they need to stop being so parasocially crazed and dangerous.
I don't disagree. I don't disagree. I said that stuff about Amber Lynn all the time. I'm like, y'all have made it so that Amber Lynn doesn't want side characters, etc. on her channel. And the same thing will happen with Rosie, to the point that people are no longer participating in fun ways. I mean, Rosie's content is already boring enough, but it isn't wrong. But her going on and talking about how y'all, girl world is being parasocially dangerous is just crazy, coming from the queen of parasocial behavior. It is so wild to me that she continues to use that word, knowing how she interacted with me. But then also wild for her to act like she doesn't still do parasocial things. Girl, you developing all of these relationships and friendships, not just limited to your long distance boyfriend, but also even to the Barry Parm of it all. All of your relationships in your life outside of your brother Levi, who lives with you, are parasocial in this way. And if you had a life outside of the internet, if you just simply logged off and did stuff that wasn't connected to you constantly being online all the time, perhaps you could have non-parasocial relationships in your life too.
About it.
God, this is gonna be
and
so
if you're
long.
Not one of the ones doing all the crazy shit that's been going on, then I'm not talking to you.
Okay, work. I'll take
talking
that.
To the crazies.
I'll take that, but then I just think you shouldn't say it's all of girl world then.
I love her to death. She'll never turn on me. We are good. I will always be here as her friend. But she's not going to be involved anymore because...
I fear Rosie's probably said that about, Chris and Britt and other people in her life in the past. I don't know that for a fact, but it just feels like something she would have said about them.
She was getting threats, and, really creepy, crazy shit was happening. And to be clear, I saw the evidence of people talking about the coordinated attempts about trolling Lee, and then he got trolled in a really weird way. So just because you didn't see it doesn't mean it wasn't real.
I saw the gang stalking. Just because nobody else saw it. Just because nobody else saw it doesn't mean it's not real.
And just because...
And I knew about it, too.
And just because you don't know all the details, because most of that coordination is happening in private discords...
No, you said it happened publicly on Twitter, not Twitch. Twitter. You said it happened on Twitter. Now it was happening in private discords? Keep your story straight, Diva.
Doesn't make it not real. So, yeah, Katie, I'm gonna miss her energy so much. Imagine if adults just started acting like adults, yeah.
Imagine if Rosie started acting like an adult. Rosie couldn't deal with one day of actually having to be an adult in her life right now. Let's just be so serious about that.
The fun that they were having, they ruined by their own insanity. So, honestly, so scary and unfair to have to live your lives a certain way because people are freaks. Clock it. Maybe in middle school, why are people so nasty? Because, like, they're festering and miserable in their hearts and souls. And they have to take that out of other people because otherwise they'd have to look inward and work on themselves, and God forbid. There's so much about burying our friendship.
I'm just so obsessed with, like, having done this on YouTube for so long, I've heard many a time that, like, I must do this because I'm just, like, such a miserable, unhappy person in my own life, and if only I'd work on myself, I would be happier and I wouldn't have to be doing this. And it's just like, girl, there are many ways. There are many ways I've been unhappy and things like that. Doing all of this on the internet, though, has nothing to do with that. And unlike Rosie, and lots of the people I discuss, I do actually spend time working on that through things like therapy. So it's just so funny. It's just so funny to me. I just like to have a hee hee ha ha on the internet. Is that so bad? Is that so bad?
That I'm never going to talk about publicly. All I know is that girl is one of the best people I've ever met. It's just because I have a friend that I appreciate. I mean, it doesn't mean that I...
So that comment said, you seem like you're more in love with Barry than you are Lee. It seems a little bit maybe more genuine to me, maybe. But I don't think it's that far away from how she talks about Lee, to be honest.
What is it? You seem more in love with Barry than you are with Lee is a crazy sentence. Lee is literally my world. Yeah, exactly, Pringles. Lee was your first. I guess it's just sensitive because of what Girl World's been doing. Sorry, Barry, but yeah, I mean, also I'm monogamous, so. Rosie looks at Lee like he hung the moon. I love it. Aw, Toby, that's so true, though. That's so true.
I'll play a lasso around the moon and pull it down for you, baby.
Did you guys hear
that?
Honey.
That's real love. That's real love.
Like
I wish I had a Discord boyfriend who would say things like that to me. Wow, that's true love.
One constant in my life is Lee. The one thing that I can lean on and rely on and know that when everything fucking sucks, we don't, is Lee. I am stressed out about a lot of shit. I'm not talking about, 80% of it. So thank you so much for your support. Because honestly, I'd be like doing fucking daily lives right now if I wasn't dealing with this shit and just trying to function.
I'm sure.
I need to take ibuprofen, which is why I grabbed one of these bad boys. I was talking
a belt bar?
I was like, I'm not going to the kitchen. I'm not cooking. I'm not doing none of that. Because, like, also, this arm is hurting a lot because I'm having to use a cane every time I get out of bed. Bullshit. Bullshit. Utter bullshit.
Is that how it's supposed to work? I don't know. I feel like many people who use canes and or like mobility devices, I guess maybe it's just because she's not used to using it. I wouldn't imagine that everybody who uses a mobility device is just like constantly in pain from using it. But I suppose maybe she's just not accustomed to it because she doesn't normally use it.
Thank you.
I'm glad we always have time for a Built Bar, though. Thank God for Built Bars.
Honestly, I mean it when I say this could be so much worse. Like, I'm allowed to be, like, bummed out and this fucking blows. Mega blows.
Uh-huh.
My knee is so twerked.
Twerked? You need to apologize to Levi for the fridge freak out. Your behavior is revolving. I will say it's interesting because there was a TikTok of this really old live stream of Rosie freaking out about Levi not closing the fridge door or whatever. And it is crazy. But I think because it popped up on a lot of people's TikToks, people assume that it was like something from recent. Because I had a couple people last week when I was streaming on Twitch ask me if I would react to it or if I had plans to react to it. And I was like, well, I don't typically react to old stuff. And they were like, oh, that was old? It's like, yeah, that is not a recent thing. That is from, I mean, I don't know exactly the date that it happened, but I know it's an old freak out of hers. And to be clear, it was like a crazy response to something that honestly probably wasn't that serious. So if you haven't looked at it, I do know a lot of reactors have gone back now and like retro reacted to it. So I'd recommend finding somebody who's done that. I don't do a ton of retro reacting over here because it's just not my thing. Nothing wrong with it. But yeah, certainly go seek it out if you're interested.
What's I'm mad about today? What the fuck? What didn't I didn't even do anything to him. Oh, whatever manufactured outrage of the day is, right? Yeah, I don't know, man.
Whatever the manufactured outrage of the day is. Well, it's just, it's not manufactured. It's just a little bit late. That's why you don't remember it happening.
Oh no, I don't like you raw.
Yeah.
It's just delayed rage from people who are just now finding you.
You know, God forbid I'm a human being. God forbid I experience the emotion of frustration. God forbid. I actually don't even know what they're talking about, to be honest. Like, whatever they're referring to, I actually I can't remember.
Also, yeah, people are allowed to be frustrated, but you're frustrated a lot. You lash out at Levi in particular like that more than once. So I think it's just a matter of like, yeah, you can have human feelings. You can have the human feeling of being frustrated. That's totally valid. It's also just a matter of like, Diva, maybe it's time to rein some of that in. Maybe we can reflect a little bit.
So whatever they're mad about, they can stay mad.
This is probably like months ago.
Right. People are mad that you're a neurodivergent person who doesn't always handle stressful situations like a neurotypical person. Yeah, that sounds about right. Yep. That sounds like exactly what they're mad at.
She's a self-determined... Well, actually, she might actually have a ADHD diagnosis. I don't know about that. But she's a self-determined autistic person who was told by a medical professional that she didn't meet the criteria for autism, just for the record.
Because, but I'm wrong for calling people ableist. Okay, bestie. Yeah, I genuinely don't even know what they're talking about. So, because, yeah, sometimes I struggle to communicate, man. Sometimes I'm not perfect. But
I also just have to say, having interacted with neurodivergent people in many capacities, if you don't know, I previously worked in a job in higher education at a college where I specifically worked with students with disabilities and getting accommodations. And some of those students included people who had ADHD, who were autistic, and the gag about this is that can be an explanation for your behavior, and also like all of those students that I've worked with and or like people who are neurodivergent in my life outside of the capacity of a job that I've worked, all of them are people who have worked really hard to not have those things negatively impact people around them. You know, being autistic, being neurodivergent, having ADHD, all of those things can help explain your behavior, but it's not a free pass to just like treat people like shit. Because, mind you, Levi does have an autism diagnosis and like, doesn't treat Rosie like shit. Or at least not that we've seen. At least not that we've seen. So it's just like, I don't know. That's what's so frustrating about her self-determined diagnosis is because we've also seen her utilize it so often. I mean, at one point, and granted, she's changed the story about her interactions with me, but at one point she was saying that, like, because she was autistic, she was missing social cues with me. Okay, that's fine. I could understand that. And also, like, you still have to like, treat people in a way that is kind, respectful, and not uncomfortable, right? Like, I don't know. Anyways, all that to say is, here we are, Rosie.
I don't sit there and shit all over my brother. I don't know about any rumors about a Discord or anything. I'm not familiar.
Hey Bree, have you ever messaged me on IG? Cool, can you email me again so I want to ask something. Nothing bad. Hey Court, I think I messaged you something on Instagram, and if I didn't message me, so I respond back to you, okay?
Okay, so these are old clips, obviously, that Jane included, but, like, are there rumors that she has a Discord now with people? If she really does have a Discord, I just know that shit is not gonna go well for her. I just know it's not. It really isn't.
Yo, Pringles. Question. Have you messaged me anywhere before? I'm just curious.
I had no idea that this is all making sense now. She's trying to invite people into this Discord that she's super familiar for. Just wait until she invites the wrong buddy troll. just you fucking wait.
Okay. If you want to message me on Instagram or email me, I have something I'd like to ask you. If not, don't worry about it. I was talking about, like, maybe making one. But, they love to just make up conspiracy theories. I don't know. Yep. We're all just ableist as fuck, despite being made up of a lot of neurodivergent people. It's giving internalized ableism. Yup. I think you're actually so accommodating and sweet to Levi. I try, man. Like, I try. Oh yeah, Aria. So
I'm not saying that there can't be some internalized ableism. I think there's certainly ways that people talk about Rosie, Amberlynn, and Chantal that does give ableist in different kinds of ways, and I totally do resonate with that. I can obviously only speak for myself. And I think there's obviously ways that Rosie's body works differently from everybody, and we can be honest about that and understanding of that to some extent. When she wants to talk about this neurodivergent stuff and it only ever comes up when, like, people are holding her accountable for her bad behavior, that's the shit that pisses me off. Because there are so many neurodivergent people out there that aren't just, like, going out being rude to people, and if they are, they're certainly, like, apologizing for that, making amends for that. Like, they're not people that want their bad behavior to, like, forever be characterized by, like, such a salient part of their identity, and that's what's irritating to me as a concept, because it also paints this idea that, like, autistic people can't, like, be out here in the world, like, interacting with people in ways that are respectful and kind and things like that. Like, it's just so foolish, because Rosie absolutely does know better, and she's just choosing not to be. All right, Aria Rose 91 says, people really are mean to you? Like, people who've never met you, that's so weird.
TLDR, there's this section of the internet called Girl Worlds, that was built around these other two creators who are similar size to me, who've done, like, really fucked up stuff. And, like, I have a really wild past that I'm far removed from, that they like to try to think that I'm the same person as. Like, I used to do SW work. There is going to be an Amazon haul upcoming, because I need to stock up on some stuff, and since I'm getting stuff, I'm going to go ahead and get some other things.
For sure.
But I'm prioritizing that over the THC.
Did we not just stock up? Was it like just a month ago? And she was claiming she wasn't going to have to stock up on things for a really long time. I would need to go back and watch that again and what she claimed. Why are we doing another Amazon haul? For real, Diva.
And
we're prioritizing it over THC, which you say is really helpful for your chronic pain. All right. Of course.
That's what I have to do, and I have my reasons for it that I can't go into.
Sure.
Today has been, these past few days have been bullshit, and I kind of already got into that a little bit, but, like, it's been some bullshit. I already ate the protein bar, so I'm gonna take my ibuprofen.
Okay. Yeah, I'm glad you got your protein in before the ibuprofen. I'm sure she just means that, like, you know, you shouldn't probably take ibuprofen on an empty stomach, but it's still funny to me because it makes me think of how she's like, you gotta eat as a person who's a diabetic, you're supposed to eat protein before carbs. It helps. It's kind of giving that energy to me for some reason.
Like the worst time to be dry on THC, because even if I found a way to get some, it won't get here for a bit. I'm just bummed. And again, shit could be so much worse. And that's why I keep telling myself, like, I'll figure it out. Like, I might find a way to make it work in the coming days, but I'm trying to be careful. Because I had some stuff come up, but
Teakwood, can you send me some more willies? Teakwood, please.
I have things that I'm dealing with that are very expensive behind the scenes, and yeah. Before this live, the reason why my live wasn't exactly at 6 was around like 3 to 4-ish. Oh my God, bless you, Tobin. It's because like around that time I was like, I can't. I want the world to implode. I hate everyone and everything that exists, and ugh. Then I took a nap, and I felt great after. I woke up, and I felt like I woke up in another dimension.
How many rages do you think could have been resolved by Rosie just taking a nap? I'm glad she at least tried to do something before she logged onto the internet, because she does feel less ragey, and in recent live streams lately, it's felt like she's like, I'm in an awful mood, but I'm here anyways.
Okay, Kiki, can you DM me on Instagram or email me? That's something I'd like to ask you. You don't have to, no pressure.
She's trying to invite more people to the Discord! Conspiracy!
Ooh, you have your first EMDR therapy tomorrow, Stacey? Oh my gosh, well, I hope that it is as helpful to you as it was to me. That shit saved my fucking life. My personal experience as someone who doesn't have any like medical training, as someone who's just been a user of EMDR, I want to tell you that.
Oh girl, you better be careful of that dress. Go back to being a floating head or whatever. Oh my God.
I found that EMDR is the most powerful for when you've already done like some talk therapy and like coping skills therapy, like when you've started the process. Like I don't ever think EMDR is something that should be done unless you have like a framework of like the basics of therapy. And I'm not saying you haven't, that's my personal opinion.
Yeah, thank you so much for giving me your opinion. Totally seems like it's really helped you. I'm totally willing to take therapy advice from you. Maybe that's unfair, but it's just let me roll that back a little bit. Cuz you know what? Everybody's on a journey. So maybe she really was in a different place before the EMDR of it all.
But once you've done that, it changed my life, but the truth is, it is going to get harder and worse before it gets better. Keep going.
You keep going.
Stay safe. Don't get discouraged. You have to go through the trenches of your memory and trauma, but once you do that, game changing. I'll say for me is I they did. I have had medical professionals tell me that, like, I have OCD tendencies, but not OCD, which helped me make sense because I can be obsessive about certain things, but I don't have, like, the full criteria for it. I don't experience.
Oh my gosh, almost like how they told you didn't meet the full criteria for being autistic. That's crazy. That's wild.
Aspects of the disorder, but there are people who have PTSD or other disorders that can have certain like similarities, and that's why for certain diagnoses they'll say things like OCD like tendencies, for example.
Also, by the way, she earlier in this stream claimed we're not talking about my diagnoses anymore. It's just so irritating. And also, I need you all to know that is exactly the same thing she was told about having autism, and that's the thing about getting evaluated for mental health diagnoses, is that oftentimes things can have overlapping symptoms, right? And so that's why there is a criteria that you have to meet. And I feel really familiar with this because I just literally, was it a year or two ago, got evaluated for and diagnosed with ADHD for the first time in my life. And they explained that there were some like other things that potentially came up during that evaluation. But the reality is a lot of those things that came up were probably just like overlapping of other like mental health diagnoses I already had. And that's basically what they're telling her for all of these things. It's like, yeah, some of these things have popped up, but that doesn't mean you have it. You don't have OCD, you don't have autism, at least according to the medical professionals you've talked to.
Yeah, my latest diagnosis is OCD. It's more of a moral.
Oh, and so not only are you not talking about your diagnoses, but you're bringing up your boyfriend's on here talking about what he's been diagnosed with. You're not worried about Girl World weaponizing his? I mean, obviously he can talk about whatever he wants, but I'm just like, what are we doing here?
OCD, where like I hyperfixate on like making the quote unquote correct or right decision when I'm faced with like a moral dilemma. I also have like perfectionist problems. Where like things have to be done a certain way, or I need to explain to me with, explain to me in a certain way so that I understand it. I really struggle with not having a routine. So, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm proud of you for sharing that, baby, because I know that's more recent. That's been this year. That happened after we met.
Yeah.
And, you have other stuff that we haven't gone super in-depth on because the internet be crazy.
The internet be crazy, but I'm so proud of you, babe. I'm so proud of you for sharing your OCD diagnosis. The internet do be crazy, though, so let's not talk about anything else. Oh, Rosie.
Right. Right. When I say I've been working on myself a lot, that's been one of them is my OCD and battling those compulsions.
Okay.
And I'm in therapy. I'm doing well.
Oh, good.
I'm on medication for it and stuff like that. So
I'm glad to hear that.
You're just coming out you're just coming out of your most recent med adjustment, so you seem to be doing a lot better.
You're welcome.
Girl, why are you out here talking about his meds and things like that? Here's what I'll say, just based on what we've watched so far. Like, I think it's more than fine if Remy wants to share those things about himself. Great. It doesn't sound like he's sharing those things in the context of like, this is an excuse for behavior. And I think that that's something that like Rosie might be missing when it comes to people talking about like her diagnoses and things like that. I still don't understand why he'd be like, let me share this with the internet, just because, Rosie's sitting here, has spent a good chunk of this live stream that he's, I assume, been present for the entire time, talking about how she's not going to share those things because of the way the internet is. But you know what? That's his choice. He gets to share whatever he wants.
Yeah, it's been interesting, just like being your partner. I've like done a little bit of research trying to learn and understand a bit better about it. And like, because as someone who doesn't have OCD, I feel like I relate to the notion of like really grappling with like making.
I don't have OCD, but here's the ways that I relate to you, Remy. Here's the ways that I'm gonna make your diagnosis about me.
Like the quote unquote right decision to a point of like driving yourself crazy, but I've seen how it affects you and how it like when unmanaged it consumes you. It's
literally an obsession that can, if it's unmanaged, it can affect me like on a really bad level.
Yeah. Because it's just like, because I know for me, like I'm with my stuff, and like I've talked about it at length, right? Like my PTSD. So my PTSD specifically, I feel like is my most disabling like mental illness. Like, you know, and it's what disables me the most. Like when I have like higher stress responses to things, it literally makes me physically ill and sick, and like, it's something.
I mean, I have PTSD myself for, you know, and I've had it for a while, and I've been working on that as well. I've done more work on my PTSD, and also like my triggers for my PTSD are like pretty specific. Like it's not like.
It's just so wild to me that we're having this conversation publicly after the beginning of this live stream where she's out here talking about people being weird. It's the thing that's like really hard for me to understand about Rosie specifically, because it's like she repeatedly talks about like, oh, I'm not going to talk about these things. I'm not going to talk about this. I'm protecting my peace. I'm protecting Lee's peace. I'm protecting Barry Parm's peace. Like, these things are really important to me, which, like, absolutely, 100%. It's just that she says these things and then always, like, usually in the same stream, like, follows it up with this as if she's not aware that people aren't probably going to take this and, like, be psychoanalyzing Remy now.
You know, I'm getting triggered every day, you know. But I would say the disability that affects me the most recently has been OCD.
Well, I think a big part of that is once you became aware of it, once like it was brought up to you.
It largely feels like this is like a personal conversation they could be having with each other, not on the internet.
Because I didn't realize like how much it affected my life until I started working on myself, you know. And something I also struggle with too is bipolar disorder. And
we're just sharing all the diagnoses. All right, let's go, diva.
You know, it's something until recently, very recently, due to circumstances outside of our control, we were trying really hard to hide the fact that basically he's also disabled.
Yeah.
Because of how I'm treated.
Yeah.
Is this not what I was literally just talking about? Again, like I don't think people with disabilities should have to like fear sharing those in terms of like getting harassed and things like that. Like obviously people shouldn't, but like if you're so concerned about the ways that people are treating you, then why are we having this conversation right now on the, like, again, it's not to victim blame, it's not to do those things, it's to say that you're sitting here acknowledging that there's ways that you know you can triage or mitigate this situation, prevent some of this feeling that you're having, and we're just actively choosing to put it all out there. To be honest, she's making it sound like the whole entire world knows these things about Remy. Like, what it seems like she's alluding to is that someone on the internet has already been sharing these things about Remy, so she's gonna share them now. I gotta tell you, this is the first time I'm hearing about all of Remy's diagnoses, just to be clear. So I'm just, why are we making this the bigger deal?
And I wanted to protect him, but something has happened that we're not getting into for a while. And we're both disabled, and it's something that we're able to, like, relate on.
I guess there's a world where it's like maybe she feels more empowered, maybe Remy feels more empowered by just saying like, hey, this is my story, and since somewhere on the internet people are talking about it, then I'm gonna talk about it on my own terms. I guess I could see a world where like that makes sense to me. But if you're not wanting to bring more attention to it, that's the part that's confusing to me. Like, it seems like they genuinely don't want to bring attention to it.
Yeah.
I've come to a point in your lives now, babe, where I feel pretty comfortable to talk about this stuff.
I mean, at this point, what's there left to hide?
Well, yeah. And that's what I'm saying is like, she makes this assumption that everybody knows, but girl, this is news to me, Diva. Granted, I'm like maybe in the past couple of weeks been a little bit more offline when it comes to Rosie, so maybe this is widely known and I'm the outlier here. But she is absolutely in the Amberlynn Reid playbook of like, well, since Girl World knows about this and somebody posted about this, everybody knows about this, so I'm going to address it and I'm going to make my whole content surrounding it. And it's just like, I don't know. This is all news to me.
Exactly. And like, I want to be more open in your lives, and I want to talk about like mental illness with you and stuff. Like,
oh gosh, I can't wait.
Can I tell them about the idea? About what we want to follow up the Florida vlogs with?
The idea.
Can I tell them?
Sure.
We are going to be.
Why are we making decisions about if we're gonna share stuff publicly like while we're currently public? Because what if he had said no? Or does he feel like he could even say no in that situation?
Yeah. Launching a little project that we're gonna figure out and start. I have a workshop title and idea, but at least until we're physically together, we're gonna figure out how to virtually record, and we're just gonna I'm gonna just say it. We're launching a podcast on my YouTube channel, like a video.
A podcast? Is that not like how is that gonna be different than what I just sat there and listened to you talk back and forth and yap back and forth? A podcast, Diva? Although, you know what? Let's not get too excited about it, because she said once she's finally done uploading the Florida vlogs, and he ain't even been in Florida now for like a month or so. So I imagine the podcast isn't coming for some long amount of time, but a podcast.
And the first video is going to be Lee's story. And then we have things we want to go into from there. And it's gonna be.
She said, I don't want y'all to talk about our diagnoses and things like that, but the first episode of this podcast is gonna be all about Lee's story. Stunning, wonderful.
Pre-recorded, and so one of the things he's journaling about is like the stuff we're gonna talk about. Because I'm just gonna go into it. I'm gonna talk about why we're doing this.
Perfect.
How it came to be.
Let's just talk. Cool? Let's just talk about it. Yeah, fuck it. Fuck everything I said moments ago. We're just gonna talk about everything.
Okay. As y'all know, a long time ago, Lee's Reddit got leaked, and what I never told the public, what I've known about since we met, actually before the first leak, because we had enough conversations, because I learned from what all these other weirdos be doing on the internet that like I needed to know what his digital footprint was like in full transparency. I've known about both Reddits since before the internet knew about the first. One of them was made when he was a minor, by the way, assholes, and has a lot of information that was just...
Listen, I don't know all the details about Remy's Reddit accounts and things like that, because I haven't made it a point to like go deep dive into them. I've seen discussion about Remy's like different Reddit accounts at different points. I don't know. None of the stuff that I remember seeing him talking about like things regarding like his sexuality and stuff like that. And I don't think I assume he wasn't a minor whenever that happened, because he said that he only just recently was like even coming to terms with that. But again, maybe I'm not the best person to talk about this because I really haven't deep dived into it. Outside of like seeing commentary specifically about his sexuality, which also honestly is another reason why I didn't deep dive into it. When it comes to Remy's sexuality, I think I've recently in videos talked about like my feelings about it, and that's that to me, as somebody who was a young queer person in a conservative place once upon a time, I lived in the rural parts of Illinois, which is very different than growing up in Chicago. It was a very conservative place. And so, to me, I at least understand when it comes to him figuring out, like, things about his identity as a queer person, whether that's sexuality or gender. To me, it makes a lot of sense that he would be on Reddit talking about those things, even if it feels weird or seems weird to other people. And again, that's not me. That's me saying that having not read every single post he's ever made. But I very much am in support of queer people taking whatever time they need to explore those things. And I also know that for me, the internet was a place that I found community when it came to discovering those aspects of my life. So I've always just kind of left his Reddit stuff to the side because I don't really like to dive into people's lives like that in general. like despite people being able to find it and it being on a public platform, I'm sure that also when Remy was making all of those posts, he hadn't yet realized that he would be, in a relationship with an online public figure like Rosie.
Someone looking for community in a place to get information as they process things in real time, which may not always have full context. And there are some of those things we're never going to fucking address or talk about.
Oh.
But everything
we're going to address some of it, though. And when I say we're never going to talk about it, we probably will at some point. This is also another one of those things of, like, I'm curious how much of her audience actually knows that Remy had his Reddit accounts leaked and stuff like that. Because, again, she's moving past making content for her audience that supports her and has moved into making content to address what all of the haters are constantly saying or doing about her.
It's on there at this point. At this point, there's no reason for us to not talk about these things anymore because the only thing it does is hide aspects that we would like our supporters to know about.
Oh, okay.
That the people that fucking hate us already know.
Okay.
So that's something where essentially, like, fuck this bullshit. We're taking our power back and we're launching a podcast.
Sure.
And I want Lee to have the ability to share his story. And the craziest part is this wasn't my idea. This was his idea.
It was.
Well, that's how it's going with your relationship with him. One second it's your idea to not have him participate, then it's your idea to have him participate. At different points he doesn't want to participate, at different points he does want to participate. Sure.
Which shook me.
And you know who inspired this idea?
Who?
You. Because you talk about your story all the time. It makes me want to talk about mine. You know?
I love you.
And I'm excited.
Okay.
I love you.
I love you too.
Alright.
Whole bunches.
Get into it.
No, guys, honestly, I haven't edited at all in, like, multiple days because I've just been trying to survive my days. I'm not going into great detail, but just, like, this week has been hell.
Uh-huh.
It's been hell. And I have just been trying to get through my days right now. It will end. It will get less hellish. I will get back to editing. I cannot express how much hell I've been going through.
I've reached a point in my life where
I just, like, also, by the way, don't even know what to say about that anymore. Like, I don't know. She is allowed to take however much time she wants to, obviously, and, like, I think a lot of people with disabilities would love to have a life that was so flexible that they could do such things. And also, like, it is to say that whatever her diagnosis is, it's just wild to me that, like, she can sit here, talk about not having money, not having this, not having that, not having all the things she needs, and it's just like, in the grand scheme of things, she has said, like, oh, getting an iPad from Barry Parm has, like, made my life easier. It's made editing so much easier. It's made this, that, the other. And it's like, yeah, you got an iPad, you can sit in your bed, which I'm sure you're already on your iPad sitting in your bed anyways, watching stuff on YouTube, reading the several subreddits that you claim you don't read, watching reaction. You have all this time to do all these things. Like, I don't see how sitting down and editing vlogs of, like, really positive experiences you had with your boyfriend while he was visiting you from Texas, I don't understand how that could possibly be difficult to do because of any of your disabilities. Pain-related disabilities, mental health-related disabilities. Like, the most you're being asked to do is to sit here and, in your bed, where you currently are, and edit together some clips of a really, what I assume was a positive time and experience you had with your partner.
I've been hiding a lot just over the past, decade. And I'm kind of sick of it. I'm tired of hiding. I'm tired of holding myself back. I've just reached a point where I just want to get my story out there, and I want to be able to talk about myself and, my disabilities and stuff like that. And it's not easy at all. In fact, it's very scary. But I feel like I can do it scared, and I can do hard things.
Hell yeah, you can. The amount that you have changed since the day we met is so...
Y'all have known each other for literally months. You haven't even known each other for a full year. Like, yes, people can change in that amount of time, but like, to be like, oh, you're a whole new different person, please. Please. I guess really the struggle I have with it is that, we don't actually have evidence. Maybe they really have both changed as humans, as individuals, etc. But what I can say is there's nothing that they've documented on the internet that's led me to believe that they're just, like, extremely changed individuals, and that's the part that's so difficult, sitting here listening to them talk about, like, just, like, how new and developed and changed and better people they are.
Inspiring.
Yeah. How so?
You were so meek and timid and shy and just struggled so much with confidence. Like, it was like almost non-existent, but, like, I saw something inside you that was, like, dying to get out, and I think that was partially, like, why you reached out to me, which is, like, when I was so vague about, he's also we're both Cancer moons, Pikachu. Part of what's so, I think, beautiful to me about, like, the way he reached out to me and stuff is, in our own ways.
It was so beautiful that he listened to a podcast about me being groomed into feederism and he reached out to me. It was just so beautiful. That's beautiful.
We each have had experiences in our lives that help us relate to each other in a way that is very, very, like, deep.
I can tell.
And you have survived a lot. You're a disabled veteran, but what happened before you even joined the military in your life was shitty. And you survived that, and you struggled.
I don't know a lot of Remy's story, so maybe it would be helpful for me to hear straight from him. But I was under the impression that he was like, the way she worded that, like, you are a disabled veteran. I think maybe it's just because, like, there are a lot of veterans who, you know, find themselves in deployment and getting disabled from various things related to participating in the military and participating in war and things like that, like, immediately in my mind when she, like, emphasizes that he's a disabled veteran, makes me think, like, oh, something happened to him while in combat. But I don't believe that he was, and not to say, like, he said that happened, I just don't recall it being, like, him ever being in combat, you know? like those are the things that are confusing to me, and so maybe it would be helpful to have the full story. I don't know. Also, for context, my father is a veteran, or was a veteran of the U.S. Navy. My father passed about 13 years ago from things unrelated to being a veteran. So I don't know. I do probably have thoughts about, you know, veterans, the way veterans are treated in our country and things like that I probably haven't shared a lot of before because it's not ever been relevant. But I am curious to learn more before making any kind of specific judgment. I do think it's interesting just the way, I think also maybe some of this is coming from the ways that I know that Rosie, it feels like, weaponizes certain words, that it feels like she's intentionally saying, like, oh, he's a disabled veteran.
To figure out how to find yourself, and it was only, like, within, like, a year before we met that things, like, you really started shaping yourself, and you're still in that process. And I just love being a part of watching it happen and seeing how, like, you know, it was so not native to you, like, being a part of all of this, putting yourself out there. Like, when we met, you being like, I don't even know if I ever want my face on the internet, to, like, where we are today, you know, it's like...
Well, yeah, also, he's 26 and you're 34, question mark? I can't remember her age exactly. So yeah, he absolutely is still doing a lot of developing of his identity and who he is as a person. That's because you have such a large age gap.
Like, just, like, watching that journey, like, authentically unfolds has been, like, amazing. And I'm just honored to be a part of it.
Thank you, baby. That means a lot to me.
He isn't the only one who's grown either. You too, Rosie. It's been so apparent.
Yeah, like,
I think honestly what this is coming down to is, like, maybe there has been growth on both ends. It's just, like, I don't think that since they only share snippets of things, a lot of it is like, oh, we just got to take your word on it.
Changed a lot yourself, babe.
And like, when it comes to Rosie, I really don't know that I could honestly speak as much to Lee because Lee isn't sharing as much of his life on the internet like Rosie is. But when it comes to Rosie, I really don't think she's changed a whole lot. I'm just telling you.
Every single day, I see you push yourself. You have such, like...
Push yourself to do what?
You have such, like, a ferocious tenacity about you.
Pulling out them SAT GRE words.
It's like... I'm not trying to get, like, all mushy or anything,
No.
but, like...
Mush away.
Keep saying good things about me, please. Please.
You inspire me to be my best self every day. Every single day I have known you. Like, when you push yourself to do hard things, when you know, get out of bed in the morning, when you go make yourself something to eat, you know, just daily tasks, you know, that I would find difficult to do on my own have been made easier now because I know you. And I mean that.
It's just, it's like one of those things, like...
Again, at risk of Rosie calling me ableist, I fear the bar is so low if what is inspiring to Remy is that Rosie gets out of bed and cooks food. Which, like, okay, hear me out. I've been depressed, have major depression disorder, also have generalized anxiety disorder. I understand the struggle of, like, not wanting to get out of bed some days when you're just really in that space. I'm just like, I think what I'm trying to say, though, is that, like, you're sitting here talking about how inspiring Rosie is, and I'm just like, that's it? This is... Remy, let me introduce you to so many people who get up every day while dealing with things similar to Rosie, and do more. And that's not to say that this isn't like some kind of like oppression Olympics or ability Olympics, but it's just like, I guess I just want more for both of you, honestly, truly.
For the average person, those types of things are second nature, but not only do I have, like, my own disability stuff, but I also have, like, my mobility issues on top of it.
Well, I would think that the mobility issues would be the first disability issue we're talking about. I would think that all of those things are disability issues. I'm unclear why we are differentiating disability and mobility issues when those are all the same thing, but I digress.
I don't want to get into that. But trying to push through and work on those things and not...
I don't want to get into that except for my boyfriend just gushing over me getting up out of bed and cooking myself meals.
I can't go too in-depth on that topic, but what I will say is I'm grateful to have someone like you to see the headway that I'm making behind the scenes.
You are seen and you are heard, baby.
Lavina said that's so
I feel like if this is stuff that's happening behind the scenes, then why am I being subjected to listening to you two talk about it publicly? Like, if you wanted to stay behind the scenes, keep it behind the scenes!
My stuff is huge and we don't get a full picture. Exactly. All I'm going to say is this time next year, mark your calendars.
We'll see. Somebody mark your calendar for August 21st, 2027 and see... Remind me, actually. Maybe after this is over, I'll put... Actually, let me just do it right now. Mark in my calendar right now. She said, listen, I don't need somebody to do this for me. I'm going to put it in my calendar myself. I'm an adult who can do hard things. Okay. So, let's just... Boop. August 2027, 2021. Oops, wait, okay. I just want to put, okay. Check in and see how much Rosie has changed. Imagine I'm not even covering her anymore and I'm just like, this time next year, like, what's going on with Rosie?
That's all I'm going to say.
It's in my calendar, though.
Something else that I struggle with as well. It's my second biggest disability. It's actually the disability I got out of the Navy for.
Yeah.
So.
And I just think, like, because when I talk about, like, how much you changed and grown, like, because you stopped using Reddit basically when we started talking. Like, you don't use it like that anymore. Like, and
Remy stopped, but she didn't. Oh, did Levi just knock on her door? I feel like I heard a knock.
Yeah, Levi? Hold on. I'm live. Is it okay if I stay live? Do I need to mute? Thank you, Levi. That's sweet of you to make rice again. I've been trying to leave Levi alone. There was, like, a day, like, when it first happened, I asked him for his help twice to just kind of, like, do some small things, but, like, other than that, I've just been kind of, like, fumbling around by myself because it's not his responsibility to take care of me. But he did, like, randomly make rice, and we used to have the rice instructions written out on the whiteboard, and I guess he just, like, forgot. So our rice cooker, you're supposed to use whatever scoops of rice you use, you're supposed to fill the line number. But I went to go eat the rice he had made, and it was like really hard. And not in our rice cooker, Toby. Yeah, when you do it in the pot.
Wasn't this supposed to be a explanation of why you're so grateful for Levi? Why are we now complaining?
Yes. It's a 2-to-1 ratio, but in our rice cooker, it's like it's a specific setup. Anyway, he it was like so crunchy. And I was like, Levi, what'd you do with the rice? And I asked him, because I was like, you could do 4 cups. And he's like, okay, cool. So he did that. And then I was like, okay, but what did you fill the line to? And he goes, 3. And I was like, why? And he was like, I don't know. It just seemed like a good number. And I was like, Levi. That's such a Levi thing. I love him to death. But I ended up al dente from hell is really so it means it was a struggle to get through my bowl. In fact, I ended up putting a decent amount of water in it and putting it in the microwave. It helped a little bit. But I was about to waste all that rice. What was even funnier is he had eaten a good portion of it and he seemed to not even notice. I love my brother, but
I wanted to read what Lavina wrote.
Yes.
So she said, also Lee being in his mid-20s, that's when so much shit opens up for people mentally. It did for me, for sure.
Me too.
Same. I'm.
Well, yeah, I think that's why a lot of people have questions about you dating somebody in their mid-20s, Rosie.
Deep in my 20s right now.
Baby, I was literally your age when I went through the EMDR, when I went through the thick of my therapy, when I did the biggest work of my life was when I was your age.
I really, truly, generally don't care about age gaps. Honestly, truly. My only level of concern that I have with it, and listen, maybe this is a part of Levi, then maybe this is a part of Lee's experience and him growing and learning about himself. Maybe he has to be in this god-awful relationship with Rosie. But that's just my concern is that, he's trying to figure himself out right now, and it's oh, you're in this relationship with this person who is 30-something, several years apart, several very different life experience at this point, and it's just yeah, here we are. This is how you're spending this formative time of your life with Rosie. Which, he's a consenting adult. He can do whatever he wants. It's just wild to me.
So it's kind of interesting, seeing all of that. You've also come so far. I think we'll hold off on some of that stuff, but just, in terms of, how you've been taking care of yourself and, the restructuring. I think we'll hold off to talk about that on the actual episode.
Sure.
Film,
hold off.
You've come really far. Exactly.
I love you, baby.
I love you, baby. I miss you.
I miss you too.
Fuck, I miss you. This is bullshit. Hours are not for the weak. I just feel like a big part of we were keeping a lot of things close to the breast just because
Ooh, close to the breast.
I don't know, whatever you want to say, because I want to protect him. It's insane that an account that was deleted over half a year ago was able to somehow be recovered. The internet is forever, that's a fact.
It is what it is, man.
And the other part I want to add to that though.
I mean, at this point, as somebody who doesn't know a lot about what was in these Reddit posts, part of me is I guess I'll go read them. That is so outside of the scope of she said, somebody leaked these a while ago, and I think y'all know, maybe outside of mentioning that they were leaked, I haven't discussed any of them in detail on my channel because it's just not something that I currently do. Long ago, there was a time where I read a Facebook post from Beck's sister that was about Amber Lynn, and, that, very famously, well, infamously, I don't know, maybe not infamously or famously at all, but Amber Lynn the next day, threatened to sue me or threatened legal action or said Beck's sister was going to sue me or something like that. It all happened on my birthday that year, my 30th birthday. And that wasn't like an immediate change in me in terms of how I covered things. But over time, ever since then, I began to just be like, I really want to focus on what they're saying on their public social media platforms. And in terms of like dissecting somebody's Reddit account, like I had interest in doing that for Rosie because she was talking about girl world stuff. She was talking about me. And I think that that's relevant in terms of like knowing who Rosie is. But I didn't really have any plans to go read through Remy's old Reddit posts. But I don't know, maybe now, since it seems to be so salient to like this live stream and the conversation at large, I guess maybe I'm gonna have to go take a look so I know what the fuck she's talking about.
There's nothing scandalous in it.
No.
It is just people being invasive and exploiting someone who, correct me if I'm wrong, but based on our conversations, someone who felt lonely and was looking for community and looking for an outlet to understand and process personal matters in their life, which is how a lot of people use Reddit.
I in fact agree with all of that and even said that earlier before you said that in this video.
Absolutely.
And I'm going to say it again, his only crime here is loving me. And that's fucked up. That him loving me is causing people to dig into his trauma, dig into his personal life, talk about his unconfirmed diagnoses that are obviously now confirmed.
Also, though, it is like, I mean, just a lesson in the internet in general. I'm not saying that like people need to like go be down these rabbit holes looking through all this stuff, but like, also he did post it publicly. like there is like a certain limit of like, yes, people are weird and invasive for like seeking this out with Remy seemingly doing nothing, and there's also a line where eventually it's like, well, also he did post it, like it was posted, he's talking about it now. It's hard for me, like I don't know that I'm necessarily like condemning anybody that has gone and looked at his public stuff, just saying like it's not for me, like it's not what I want to do on my channel anymore. And what I am also here to say is like, I think there's a line at somewhere where you have to acknowledge like, well, Remy posted it, diva. Like I don't know, I think that's where like there's some nuance that comes in here, is like, I don't know. You let me know your thoughts down below.
And dig into his military history and call him horrible things because he's a disabled veteran.
Are people coming for him for being a disabled veteran? I don't know that. I don't know that people are calling him horrible things because he's a disabled veteran. Again, I haven't seen everything, so maybe I haven't seen that. Maybe it's just I'm just not privy to it.
Yep.
He is a disabled veteran, and I have not said that before today out of respect for him and his safety and his privacy.
I just also want to say that, again, this is similar to like Rosie claiming, several different diagnoses and things like that. And that's not to say that like, even if she had those things, like, those diagnoses, Remy being a disabled veteran, none of them mean that they're free from critique or like that they can't be critiqued.
But people have been giving him labels and shit that they throw at me, without any other context than some Reddit posts talking about his experience living in the military, where he was honorably discharged. There's nothing nefarious to look at, and they're making up insane shit.
I mean, that's very possible. People in this corner of the internet do that. But I'm just asking specifically, like, I can't imagine people in this corner of the internet, like, targeting him for his veteran status, specifically.
Because
maybe they could, though. Listen, I'm always surprised by this corner of the internet.
A villain. They're trying to mold him into the likeness of someone like Emily, literally by the names they give him and everything. And
well, I don't think that has anything to do with him being a disabled veteran. I think that has more to do with his interest in you and his interest in finding you from a podcast about feederism, and you eating and things like that. I think that's where that comes from.
Is zero supporting evidence to any of that other than other people's preconceived notions and bias based on another couple on the internet. It's massive delusion. And I'm sick of it because, like, if you're going to hate on me, fine, but he didn't fucking do anything besides be in a relationship with me.
That's literally all I did. All the information that has been found of me, it just proves, like, my integrity.
They're really going to make me go seek out this shit.
Exactly. Yeah. It's consistent.
Exactly.
So
they're really going to have me out here reading his old Reddit posts. God.
People aren't going to find anything.
Like, so now you're going from bullying a disabled fat person to a disabled veteran. What the fuck are you doing with your life?
I honestly, I'm so confused. I'm so confused because I just don't. First of all, I don't know that, like, either of them are inherently being bullied for people responding to things that they're both publicly sharing on the internet. Like, I don't know. As somebody who was bullied once upon a time when I was in high school, that just feels, I don't know, very different than what I experienced. Although, you know, that was like 2 decades ago, to be honest with you. So maybe the concept of bullying has changed as just in general. But also, it's just like, it's not even, I could see her making an argument about people bullying her for being fat, but she wants to keep saying this disabled veteran phrase, and I'm sorry, but I just, like, haven't seen, I've seen the discourse about Remy being like Emily, like being a feeder and this, that, the other. At no point has his status as a veteran of the military ever been a part of that. And so her, like, bringing this up when I don't know that that's ever been a salient part of the problems that people have with Remy on the internet, it feels like she's weaponizing that word the way that she weaponizes other words. It feels icky to me.
Truly.
Yeah.
Like, as somebody who is the child of an actual veteran and understands the ways that, like, my father, you know, was sometimes not treated the best by the U.S. government in terms of, like, access to healthcare and things like that, and in lots of ways was taken very good care of. It wasn't, like, all bad or anything like that. But it just, like, I don't know. I don't know. What all of this to say is, like, I think my thoughts and feelings about veterans are very complicated in many kinds of ways because of my own relationship with somebody who was a veteran. And this just feels, I don't know, weirdly. weirdly.
Yep.
It's frustrating, man. But I wanted to acknowledge it in the sense of, like, especially, like, here with members, because, like, I want you guys to know that, like, that stuff is upcoming and why. Like, why now?
Yeah.
When we first found out about the second account, I kind of freaked out because I knew how much he didn't want all that business out there. And
he didn't want all that business out there, but he put it on Reddit at some point. Again, there comes a time where it's like, yes, you can use those communities and things like that to find people who identify with you and find community and things like that. Totally get it. And also, like, you still have to acknowledge that you put that out on the internet, Diva. Like, I don't know. What do you mean you didn't want it to be found? Then don't put it onto the internet.
Especially back then. Exactly. So when it was recovered like that, like, it was a shock to the system. And again, not because there was anything to hide, but because it's just another invasion of privacy.
Sure.
It's just another.
It's just also so irritating it's so irritating knowing posts that Rosie's made on her various Reddit accounts of her, like, being invasive into my life. Being invasive into my life in ways that's, like, not even related to people that are on my channel. Like, quite literally, I've told you all, she was commenting on and making posts about literally the person that the internet was speculating was dating my ex. Like, talking about this guy's specific Instagram account, okay? This is a guy who, for all intents and purposes, I actually really don't know in real life, okay? Like, never met him. And two, if he is dating my ex, like, never signed up for the Zachary Michael show, right? So even if, you want to make arguments like, oh, it's fair to speculate on what my ex is doing on the internet because once upon a time I talked about my ex in videos, my ex was in videos with me, whoever, whatever. That guy is so far removed because he came into my ex's life after my ex was no longer in my life. And people like Rosie were out there, Rosie specifically, and let's not talk about people like Rosie. Rosie specifically was out there commenting on stuff, looking through this guy's Instagram, talking about how my ex upgraded from me, this, that, the other. And she's out here getting all sensitive about people digging into Lee's life. And it's like, well, you reap what you sow, diva. You fucked around and you found out.
Boundary being crossed. It's another psychological attack. Disgusting how normalized it is, and I'm never going to stop calling it out for what it is.
Yeah, I think it was disgusting when you did it too, diva. I'm right there with you.
It's abusive, it's gross, it's disgusting, it's wrong, and there's nothing about any of that should be normalized. After we, it was like within an hour after finding out.
And granted, I guess you could say, like, that was in her past, and maybe now that she's experienced it, she's had a change of heart about it. I'm just here to say, if you believe in karma, I think that's what we call karma over here, I think that's karma.
And we started talking about it, and he eventually came up with the idea about, like, telling his story, and I was just kind of like, that's perfect. Like, if you're willing to do that, then, like, we're just going to take ownership of it. Like, it's just, we're going to take back the power.
And in the 2 to 3 months that it takes for them to actually put out this podcast, more people are going to go look at the Reddit accounts. More people are going to form their own thoughts, feelings, and opinions and speculation about it because you brought it up in this moment.
Like, you don't get to make us feel powerless. You don't get to make us feel helpless.
Sure.
Again, there's so much I have not brought to the internet. There's so much attacks on my family and his family that we haven't talked about to protect people.
There's so much.
People are sick.
There's so much that we're not talking about, but we could talk about, but we're not talking about it. All right, Amberlynn, that's right out of the Amberlynn Reed playbook. Reheating her nachos, diva.
We both understand the risk. Like, we both understand, like, the consequences of, like, sharing this kind of information, but at this point, if, like...
They already know it. In fact, they already know more than what we're saying. You know? Because they've already done the invasion of privacy. They've already dug up shit.
Sure.
What we're doing is showing a light to the things that I think will help the people that support us. I don't know, feel more connected to our stories or experiences in a way, and also give Lee an opportunity to show a lot of the things that have changed in his growth just in the past 8 months, year to 2 years.
Yeah, show me that growth, diva.
All right, guys, my knee hurts. Everything hurts. I'm getting cranky. I need to readjust. Lee wants to go. We've had quite the conversation. I've had as much fun as I think I possibly can in this amount of pain.
Thank you guys for being here and for showing Rosie all your love and support.
Okay.
And yeah, I hope you all have a good day or night wherever you all are.
Not her yawning in the middle of him trying to be kind.
Stay true.
Bye, guys.
Alright, thank God that's over. I'm kind of hungry. I contemplated eating lunch before I started recording, and I really should have. Can you believe I watched a Rosie live stream and I somehow ended it all feeling hungry? Oh my gosh. Well, I don't really have much more to say than I already said, and this is already a very long video, so thanks so much for watching. I appreciate it. If you're brand new to my channel, consider subscribing down below. Hit the bell button so you get notifications every single time I post a new video. Make sure to leave me a comment, hit like, click share, and follow me on all my social media. I had so much fun today. I hope you did too, and I'll see you all next time. Bye!